Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The sky over Zilthara shimmered in hues of teal and violet, a surreal canvas of colors that played against the warm glow of three suns hanging lazily above. It was a world unlike any Alex had ever encountered. The air hummed with life, and the soft rustle of vibrant, spiraling plants surrounded him as he stepped cautiously through the dense alien foliage. Alex, an Earth researcher, marveled at the alien flora around him. His assignment on Zilthara was not only to study its unique ecosystem, but also to explore the possibilities of interspecies communication. He was prepared for rigorous analysis and exchanges of knowledge, but was wholly unprepared for what awaited him on this fateful day. As he wandered deeper into the bioluminescent thicket, an intriguing structure caught his eye, a circular artifact embedded in the ground, pulsing softly with a light that oscillated between deep green and blue. Mesmerized, he leaned closer, oblivious to the potential dangers of such a relic. He knelt to inspect the shimmering surface, his curiosity overriding his usually cautious nature. Suddenly, an unexpected noise made him turn. An alien clear of voice and vibrant in appearance stood before him. Lyra, the local inhabitant, was tall and graceful, her body adorned with luminescent patterns that shifted like rippling water. Her emerald skin sparkled as she moved with an air of ethereal elegance. But what struck Alex most was her wide eyes filled with a perplexed mix of curiosity and disbelief. "Human," she exclaimed, though her voice was melodic, hinting at the complexities of her language. Caught off guard, Alex stood and attempted to explain himself, his words tumbling out in a rush. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I just—" Before he could finish, a surge of energy erupted from the artifact, enveloping Lyra in a halo of light. She gasped, her expression shifting from confusion to distress, and before Alex could react, she collapsed to her knees. "Hold on," he panicked, rushing to her side. "Are you all right?" The glow subsided as she looked up at him, her breathing rapid, confusion turning to something deeper, a mixture of need and apprehension. "You sat on it, human. You must help me." "What? Help you with what?" Alex furrowed his brow in bewilderment. "The artifact," she breathed, her voice thick with a strange urgency. "It's linked to my species' mating ritual. You don't understand." Realization struck him like a lightning bolt. Alex found himself in the worst-case scenario, caught in a cultural misunderstanding that could lead to unforeseen complications. What had initially been excitement about exploration and discovery quickly turned into heightened anxiety. Determined to help, he knelt beside her, their faces close, the tension thickening the air between them. "Just tell me what I need to do." However, as they gazed into each other's eyes, an undeniable bond began to form, a fleeting moment of connection amid chaos, echoing the deeper complexities of their worlds that they were about to explore together. Alex's mind raced as he processed Lyra's words. Mating rituals? How could he possibly help with that? Before he could utter another word, Lyra firmly grasped his wrist, her cool touch sending shivers up his arm. "The artifact is crucial for my kind. My connection to it has been interrupted. If we don't fix this, it could cause catastrophic issues, both for me and the balance of our mating cycles." Alex swallowed hard, his heart pounding. Okay. What do we need to do?" Lyra took a deep breath, her glowing skin pulsating softly as she tried to calm herself. "You need to join me in the ritual. Your presence will restore balance to the artifact." His throat went dry at her words. "Join you how?" "Just trust me," she said, her voice firm yet oddly soothing. The urgency in her gaze made it clear that she wasn't joking. As she stood, Alex got a closer look at Lyra's features. Her luminescent patterns danced over her skin, evoking an ethereal beauty that left him momentarily speechless. But now wasn't the time to be distracted. He had to focus on helping her. "All right, what do I need to do first?" he asked, steeling himself for whatever bizarre ritual lay ahead. Lyra guided him back towards the artifact, her expression a mixture of determination and uncertainty. As they reached it, she placed her hands on the surface, the light pulsing beneath her touch. "Now, you must sit next to me and touch it." Alex nodded, still uncertain what exactly was expected of him, but he complied. He sat down beside her, their legs nearly touching. The heat of her body radiated warmth, making him acutely aware of the awkwardness of the moment. He placed his hand gently on the artifact, mirroring Lyra's delicate touch. The light intensified, and suddenly, a wave of energy coursed through him, an electric pulse that made him twitch. He looked at Lyra, startled by the sensation. "What's happening?" "Stay focused," she urged, her eyes wide with intensity. "You have to allow your energy to flow through the artifact. It needs both of us to stabilize." Taking a deep breath, Alex concentrated, nervous energy swirling in his gut. He couldn't believe he was participating in a mating ritual with an alien. Closing his eyes, he tried to channel his thoughts and feelings into the artifact, focusing on their connection. Instead of a serene energy flow, Alex felt a chaotic tug, pulling him into the depths of Lyra's emotions. It was an overwhelming surge of passion, vibrations of hope, and, most shocking of all, an echo of desire. His heart raced as he processed the waves of feelings crashing into him like a tidal wave. "Oh no, not like that," Lyra exclaimed, breaking Alex's concentration. The sudden sharpness of her voice threw him off balance, and he recoiled, breaking contact with the artifact. The pulsing light flickered erratically. "What did I do?" he stammered, bewildered. "Your emotions. You need to center yourself," she urged, her voice filled with urgency mixed with something softer, almost vulnerable. Alex tried to steady his thoughts, realizing that with Lyra's alien heat beside him and his own unruly desires, focusing was becoming increasingly difficult. "I'm trying," he replied, frustration edging into his tone. "Focus on me, Alex." Lyra insisted, her luminous gaze locking onto his. "We need to be in sync." Feeling heat rise to his cheeks, Alex searched her bright eyes for grounding. "Okay, let's do this." As they resumed contact with the artifact, Alex found the rhythm of their energies dancing together, like two separate currents merging into a calm stream. Just as he began to feel the gentle ebb and flow, a sudden flash of light erupted from the artifact, causing them both to jerk back in shock. "What just happened?" Alex asked, bewildered. Lyra shook her head, her expression shifting between worry and curiosity. "It means the artifact is responding, but it's unfocused. We've got to try again, and this time, with more intent." Resetting his mindset, Alex steeled himself for the challenge. "Let's do it. I can help you." As they settled in once more, the atmosphere thickened with tension and magic, a moment of raw vulnerability hanging between them. Each other's thoughts and desires flowed like strings weaving through the fabric of the universe, binding them closer together. But as they focused, a rustling in the trees caused both of them to snap their heads to the side. Emerging from the shadows were figures, two other researchers from Alex's team, their faces drawn with mingled surprise and disbelief. "Alex, what the hell are you doing?" one of them shouted, his voice breaking the intimate moment. Lyra's eyes widened in alarm, realizing the precarious situation they were in. The sudden appearance of Alex's fellow researchers shattered the fragile moment, sending an electric shock of panic through the air. Alex turned to face his team, their expressions a bewildered mixture of skepticism and intrigue as they processed the sight before them. "What's going on here?" one of the researchers, Jenna, demanded, arms crossed defiantly. Her sharp gaze flicked between Alex and Lyra, the alien beauty with bioluminescent skin standing protectively beside him. "I can explain," Alex blurted, scrambling to his feet. "We were studying the artifact, and then—" "Study," Jenna interrupted, a knowing smirk appearing on her lips as she looked back to Lyra. "Looks like you found a new way to study the natives, Alex." "Jenna, that's not what this is about," he exclaimed, desperation creeping into his voice. "Lyra's in trouble. This artifact is crucial to her species' mating rituals, and his voice trailed off, feeling the weight of how absurd the situation sounded. "What do you mean? Mating rituals?" Another researcher, Tom, interjected, his eyebrows raised skeptically. Lyra stepped forward, still emanating a soft glow as she spoke. "It is true. The artifact is vital for stability in our mating cycles, and Alex has agreed to help." "Help," Jenna echoed mockingly, glancing at Alex with disbelief. By sitting here with her? Come on, you can't be serious. Actually, I am serious. Alex insisted. We need to focus. This isn't just about us. There's more at stake. Tom crossed his arms, leaning against a nearby tree. And you think you can just fix it with a little hands-on research? What do you know about alien biology? Frustration bubbled within Alex. More than you think. I'm not just here to collect samples. I'm here to bridge gaps between species. Lyra's glowing patterns dimmed slightly, betraying a hint of hurt at the confrontation. Alex turned to her, noting her distress and the genuine appreciation in her eyes as she felt his fervor. It drove him, urging him to stand taller against the mounting skepticism. Please. Lyra stepped forward again, a resonating calm in her voice that demanded respect. We have a unique connection, an opportunity here to understand one another. If we don't act, it could lead to serious implications for my people. After a moment of surprise, Jenna's expression softened ever so slightly. And what do you get out of this? She asked, her voice lowering. Alex hesitated, searching for the right words. It's not about what I get. It's about learning to coexist. The universe is vast, and we can find ways to understand each other beyond the limits of our worlds. The tension hung thick in the air, the researchers exchanging cautious glances. Uncertainty brewed among them, and it was clear that some were intrigued, while others remained skeptical of Lyra's motives and Alex's determination. Finally, Jenna relented, her posture shifting slightly. All right, but if it gets out of hand, we're stepping in. You're still under the research mandate. Relief washed over Alex as they began to form a tenuous alliance. Fair enough. Just give us some space to work with this. As Jenna motioned for the others to stand back, Lyra turned to Alex, gratitude sparkling in her iridescent gaze. Thank you. It will help to have them understand, but we also need to continue focusing on the artifact. Once they resumed their seated positions, the energy shifted again, blending with a newfound sense of teamwork. Alex felt more confident, channeling the lingering connection he shared with Lyra. Okay, he said, focusing on her again. Let's do this together. She nodded, her reassurance bolstering his resolve, and they placed their hands gently on the artifact again. They drew in synchronizing breaths, drawing on each other's strength, as the artifact's light pulsed in rhythm with their heartbeats. With each shared glance, a bond formed, unfurling like petals of a flower, revealing the fragile vulnerability of their fates intertwined. The energy from the artifact flowed through them, literal and metaphorical, binding their disparate worlds. As the artifact responded more favorably, its light became steady and warm. We're doing it, Alex exclaimed, excitement surging through him. I can feel it. Lyra beamed, her confidence radiating. Yes, now let your emotions guide you. Alex closed his eyes again, submitting entirely to the flow of energy, feeling Lyra's presence wrap around him like a warm embrace. He focused deeply, trying to feel her essence, the pulse of life, the sounds, the vibrancy of her world. A soft whisper echoed in his mind, inviting him into a greater understanding. Open yourself to my essence, Alex, Lyra urged softly, as they stood together in a moment frozen in time. Suddenly, images flooded his mind, vivid scenes depicting the vibrant courtships and rituals of the Ziltherans, glowing pathways, dances beneath the stars, the joy and longing present within their bonds. It was a world of wonder, filled with vivid colors and sensations he had never imagined. In that moment, Alex understood. It wasn't just about helping her with the artifact. It was about bridging the gap between their lives, an exchange without boundaries, a profound connection between human and alien. And maybe, just maybe, it was about realizing that they each had something the other desperately needed. As the light from the artifact enveloped them, Alex lost track of time. The warmth of Lyra beside him, the cascading waves of energy, and the images swirling in his mind formed a tapestry of emotions that intertwined their destinies. He focused on her essence, weaving their experiences through the shared energy. But then, the energy shifted abruptly, sending a shockwave through the connection. Alex jolted, and the comforting glow dimmed, replaced by a sudden chill. His eyes snapped open, meeting Lyra's alarmed gaze as she pulled back, her face betraying concern. "No, we were so close," she exclaimed, reaching out to steady herself against the artifact. "What happened?" Alex asked, panic rising within him. "Did I do something wrong?" Lyra shook her head, almost frantically. "It's not you, it's them." She pointed toward the trees, where whispers suddenly filled the air. "They've come to investigate." The moment hung heavy as Alex turned to see Jenna and the others watching in astonishment. Though they had granted permission for the experiment earlier, it was clear that witnessing the energy exchange had sparked doubts. Jenna stepped closer, disbelief tattooed on her features. "What's going on?" she pressed, her arms crossed. Lyra looked at Alex with a plea in her eyes. He understood that their connection was becoming public, and the romantic tension inherent in their situation was hanging in the air. "Nothing bad is happening," Alex attempted to explain, holding up his hands defensively. "We were connecting through the artifact to restore balance to Lyra's." Before he could finish, a rustling sound cut through the moment. Out of the shadows emerged a second group of figures, alien beings, tall and imposing, with strikingly bright eyes and skin patterns that pulsed dangerously. They were Ziltharan hunters, representatives of a faction that opposed Lyra and her kind. "Interfering human," one of them sneered, stepping forward, his voice thick with disdain. "You dare meddle with the rituals of our people?" Lyra gasped, her confusion morphing into vulnerability as she took a step back. "No, this isn't what it seems. Stay away from her," Alex shouted, instinctively positioning himself between Lyra and the approaching aliens. The sudden threat ignited a surge of protectiveness within him. "How cute," the leader of the hunters replied mockingly, glaring at Alex. "A pathetic human playing the savior. Lyra is ours to protect, not yours." Alex's mind raced, navigating the chaos rapidly unfurling around him. He could see tension on Lyra's face. She was scared, and he could feel the artifact's energy vibrating against his palm, its power urging him to do something. "Wait," Alex called out, trying to calm the situation. "We're not enemies here. We're trying to understand each other's cultures." "Understand," the hunter scoffed. "You can never understand what you do not belong to. Leave now, before you provoke our wrath." Lyra's hand found Alex's arm as she stepped closer, her voice a whisper. "Please, Alex, we cannot afford to provoke them." Just as Alex was about to respond, Jenna stepped forward, adding her voice to the confrontation. "You have no right to intimidate him. He's trying to help Lyra, and you should let us work together." Her courage surprised Alex. He had underestimated her resolve. The hunters exchanged looks of annoyance. Their leader sneered. "Cooperation will not save you. The time has come for the Ziltharans to reclaim what is ours, and the human shall not meddle further." With that, the tension peaked like a coiled spring. Suddenly, the artifacts around the area began to flicker ominously, responding to the rising conflict. The hunters advanced towards Alex and Lyra as she stood resolute beside him, projecting a shimmering aura that seemed to challenge the aggression. "I won't let you take her," Alex yelled defiantly, a fire igniting in his chest. The leader moved closer, his face twisted in irritation. "You do not understand the consequences of your actions. You have interfered with what should be a matter of our culture." In that moment, something within Alex snapped. "I may not understand everything, but I know one thing for sure. We can do this together. Humans and Ziltharans both thrive on connection, and I'm not going to let fear tear us apart." His words fell heavy, resonating against the tension in the air. Lyra looked at him, a spark of admiration shining in her eyes. The hunters hesitated, the determined bravado of their leader faltering momentarily. "Enough!" the hunter leader shouted, the authority he held wavering. "You may have gained temporary favor, but do not think this changes our course." With a final glare, the hunters retreated into the shadows of the alien forest, leaving Alex and Lyra breathless, the weight of the unresolved tension still hanging in the air. I'm sorry," Lyra stammered, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean for this to escalate." Alex took a deep breath, his heart still racing. He turned to her, the warmth of her luminescent presence anchoring him. "It's not your fault. I just can't believe that fear is still keeping our worlds apart." But beneath that conviction, He felt uncertainty brewing. They had faced fear together, but what lay before them could threaten not only their connection, but the factions of their very existence. "Let's try again," he offered, determination nudging his voice. "For us." A flicker of hope kindled in Lyra's eyes, and for a moment, the world outside faded away. "Together," she whispered, and as they reached for the artifact again, Alex hoped that their connection would be strong enough to withstand the challenges ahead. The atmosphere felt charged as Alex and Lyra positioned themselves before the artifact once more. The echoes of the confrontation with the hunters still lingered, casting a shadow over their efforts. Fear and uncertainty twisted within Alex, but determination emerged stronger. He had to help Lyra, and they needed to connect. "What if they come back?" Lyra asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty as she glanced around the dimness of the forest. "They might," Alex replied, trying to mask the worry in his voice. "But we need to focus on the artifact. If we can stabilize it, we can protect you, and maybe even support your people against whatever it is they're doing." Lyra nodded, her resolve returning as she mirrored his energy. "You're right. We must work together, no matter the cost." They reached for the artifact again, hands lightly touching. The pulsing glow swelled as Alex concentrated on the bond that had begun to flourish between them. As he closed his eyes, he felt Lyra's essence flow through him, a vibrant force urging him to dig deeper into their combined strength. "Trust me," she urged, her voice a melodic echo that resonated between them. "Let your emotions guide you." He felt the currents of her essence guiding him, mixing their heartbeats into a harmonious rhythm as the artifact's light enveloped them. For a moment, time slipped away, and the buzzing of the outside world faded. Images painted vivid scenes in Alex's mind, places filled with lush colors, celebration, and unity. He could envision the warmth and intimacy of Ziltharan culture, a stark contrast to the isolation he sometimes felt in his own world. They thrived on connection, both with each other and with the universe. He sensed Lyra's emotions intertwining with his, each thread of their energies knitting a tapestry that bound them closer together. But deeper beneath the surface, they felt the worry of her people, a fear of losing their traditions. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath them. Startled, Alex opened his eyes and looked at Lyra in alarm. "What's happening?" "It's the artifact's reaction to our emotions, our connection," Lyra exclaimed, the glow from the artifact intensifying. In that moment of realization, a wave of anxiety coursed through Alex. "But what if it's too much? What if we can't control it?" "It's now or never," Lyra urged, her voice firm. "We must trust in our bond." With renewed determination, Alex focused on the energy, channeling everything into one final plea for unity. "Let's do this." The artifact surged with light, casting colorful rays in all directions, illuminating the surrounding forest. The vibrations formed an echoing melody, resembling laughter, joy, and a symphony of connection. Alex felt the forces of both their worlds merging, harmonizing, and for a moment, he saw the truths of the universe align before him. Yes, they could unite. Humans and Ziltharans could fight for each other's futures through understanding and connection. Then, with a sudden burst of brilliance, the artifact erupted in light. The explosion of energy rippled through the air, cascading waves of color, and at that moment, it felt as if the fabric of the universe had shifted. As the light faded, the tension surrounding them eased. The forest now felt alive, a soothing serenity taking hold of the atmosphere, replacing fear with hope. "Did it work?" Alex whispered, panting slightly. Lyra stepped closer, her eyes wide with realization. "Yes, I can feel it. The artifact is stabilized, and my people will be safe." Her expression lit up, and a smile brightened her face like a beacon. But as they stood basking in the moment, the hunters emerged from the shadows again. Though this time, they did not advance with aggression. Their leader looked at the glowing artifact, and then back at Alex and Lyra, uncertainty washing over him. "What have you done?" he demanded, defensiveness edged in his tone. "We made a connection," Alex replied, finding his voice steady. "It's a bridge between our worlds, a way for us to understand each other." The hunter's gaze flickered between Alex and Lyra, studying their expressions. And you believe this will resolve the chaos? The traditions of our kin are not easily swayed. We do not wish to replace your traditions, Lyra said, her voice resolute as she stepped forward with confidence. We want to protect them while sharing in our connection. Your culture deserves to thrive alongside others, not isolated by fear. The hunters exchanged glances, the leader's expression softening, albeit slightly. It was a shift, a moment of reflection that hinted at possibility rather than hostility. Many do not accept such notions, but perhaps there is room for understanding. Alex watched the exchange, realizing that their bond could be the key to a new path. If they could work together, perhaps they could heal the fractures between their worlds rather than allow fear to dictate their fates. We'll need to build trust, Alex proposed hesitantly, meeting the hunter's challenging gaze. It will take time, but we can open the door to a brighter future. Perhaps, the leader replied, contemplating Alex's words, but the burden of your understanding will require immense effort. Are you willing to stand by our kind? Absolutely, Alex stated firmly, his heart swelling with conviction. Together, we can create a lasting peace. With that, the tension that had once filled the air began to wane, potential bubbling to the surface. As the hunters begrudgingly began to lower their guard, a sense of hope sparked within Alex. Lyra, standing beside him, became a symbol of that hope, a connection that transcended cultures and boundaries. They had embarked on a journey together, and the possibilities ahead seemed as vibrant as the colors that danced through the forest around them. As the sun began to set, wrapping the world in warm golden hues, Alex realized that this was only the beginning. With Lyra by his side, he felt ready to explore the unknown, to face the challenges that lay ahead, and to truly bridge the gap between human and alien worlds. For together, they had already begun to redefine their destinies. Days turned into weeks as Alex and Lyra forged a path of cooperation between their two worlds. Workshops were established, allowing humans and Ziltharans to come together in mutual understanding. They exchanged ideas, traditions, and knowledge, every session bringing them closer and allowing their cultures to intermingle. Alex found himself immersed in Ziltharan life, observing their rich customs firsthand, all while sharing Earth's wonders. The clash of science and emotion gave birth to profound conversations about existence, connection, and the universe itself. Lyra became his guide, enlightening him about her people and the delicate balance of their traditions. In return, he shared the complexities and beauty of humanity. One evening, they stood together near the glowing artifact, a symbol of their success. It pulsated softly with the energy of unity, illuminating the clearing where both Ziltharans and humans collaborated. The skies turned a breathtaking shade of orange and pink as the sun set on this new dawn. Can you believe how far we've come? Alex said, glancing over to Lyra, who stood radiant beside him. Her luminescent features glimmered against the twilight backdrop. No, she replied, a playful smile tugging at the corners of her lips. And yet, it feels so natural. I never thought I'd be leading workshops on interspecies communication with a Ziltharan beauty by my side. He joked, trying to maintain his usual charm. Lyra turned to him, a seriousness in her gaze that reflected the depth they had developed. This goes beyond beauty, Alex. It's about the connections we build and the bridges we create. It's about hope for our peoples. He nodded, feeling the weight of her words. Together, they had sparked a shift, and each day they chipped away at generations of misunderstandings. You're right. Your people will flourish alongside ours. As the stars began to twinkle above them, Lyra took a step closer, her gaze penetrating. And what about us? Alex's heart raced at the unspoken question. What about us? I do not mean to rush, she said, her voice soft yet firm. But our bond has grown deeper than I initially imagined. My heart knows you as a part of my existence now. He hesitated for a moment, feeling the gravity of her words. He had felt the warmth between them, the shared laughter, the late-night talks filled with fascination about each other's worlds. But now, standing amidst the connections they built, that warmth was undeniable. I feel it too, Lyra, he admitted, a soft smile breaking through. You opened my eyes to so much more than I could have ever imagined. You've changed the way I see everything. Then let us create a new understanding not just between our worlds, but within ourselves as well, she declared, reaching for his hand. Their fingers intertwined, firm yet gentle. In that moment, everything around them faded, and the connection they shared illuminated the space between them more than any light from the artifact or the stars above could. You've shown me the power of unity, he said, looking deeper into her vibrant eyes, and I cannot imagine facing the universe without you. Her smile radiated warmth before she calmly added, then let's face it together. As the night deepened, they stood side by side, feeling as if the universe itself was grace-filled with possibility. The sound of laughter and conversation rolled through the clearing, the unifying spirit of both Ziltharans and humans mingling, toasting to their joint success. In that shared moment, under the vastness of the universe, Alex and Lyra took a step forward into their new future, knowing they could bridge gaps that once seemed insurmountable. Their connection, like the artifact, thrummed with energy, a promise of love and understanding that would ripple through time and space. It was not just a story of accidental encounters or chaotic rituals. It had transformed into a beautiful dance of shared lives, solidarity, and growth. As they turned their attention back to the community forming around them, Alex felt a profound sense of purpose. This was just the beginning. Together, they had become pioneers in a world that sought unity over division, hope over fear, and love that transcended the boundaries of species. And for Alex and Lyra, that bond would forever be their greatest adventure.